everyone. Oh my goodness, it's been so long since I've last seen you. I took a much needed YouTube break. Have a lot of things going on. Been on Instagram a lot more and was doing a little series on there, which I highly recommend you checking that out. It's called Calling All Foodies. I interviewed, I think, 7 or 8 friends in the foodie space about different aspects of food, and it was super fun. I also took a food photography course, so I'm brushing up on my food photography skills. And yeah, I've got a lot of behind the scenes things going on. So anyways, but I'm back, and I thought what would be the best thing to kick off was, it's been 6 months since I did the whole the 75 hard challenge. That's nuts. So I thought I would do a little recap of what's been going on in the past 6 months, and am I following the diet, all the different things? Am I doing those things anymore? So yeah, come check this episode out. It's great for people who are thinking about the 75 hard challenge or just doing a new challenge. Yeah, so I'll give you all the juice. What the heck is the 75 hard challenge to begin with? So this is a challenge, I believe his name is Andy Frisella. He started this a few years ago, and basically there's, I think, 5 or 6 different things that you have to do over 75 days. I did like a few different videos on it as I was following the challenge in the fall, from September till November. And it wasn't easy, that's for sure. The hard and 75 hard definitely means something. The main rules of the challenge is that you do these things, these 5, 6 things every day for 75 days. No cheating, no skipping. If you skip one thing, if you cheat, you have to go back to day 1 and start it again. I did it successfully. I didn't skip a day, I don't think. So yeah, check out those videos. This is more of a recap of like what I've been doing since. Has it stuck? I've had a few people ask me like, oh, how's it going since? I'm so curious. Is it something that's worth it? So I'll go through all of those things. Well, first of all, why I did the challenge. So like I said, I started it in September. For those who are watching this maybe later on, we got back into a bit of a lockdown. Well, it wasn't until November, but we definitely had some restrictions in the fall. We had restrictions in the spring of 2020 when COVID first hit. And it was going in and out of different routines. I just started a new job. I had just started a new relationship. There was like so much going on, and I was just feeling really, like I needed a routine. I was feeling very unstructured. I wanted something that I could focus on that was just purely for my benefit. And yeah, so my friend had done it in the winter right before COVID had hit, and as she was doing it, I was like, you're crazy. Like, I could never do this. And then I just saw how much she kind of changed and evolved, and I was thinking about it for some time, and I thought, no, this would be perfect. So that's why I did it. So it's been 6 months, and here are some of the things that I've learned. So we'll go through each of the categories of things that I've done and how they've changed over those 6 months. So the first one is water. So on the challenge, you're supposed to drink 4 liters or 1 gallon of water a day. This was one that I found, I would say I'm still doing this. Like this is probably the one thing that I'm like consistently sticking with. I wouldn't say I'm drinking completely 4 liters of water. I would say about 3.5, but sometimes I drink 4 liters. And I think the thing that really made it an easy thing to change was I started drinking a liter of lemon water in the morning before I drank my coffee. So I drink it as I was doing my workout, Or if I was not doing a workout that morning, I would just like slowly sip on it and journal or do some other things before I got my coffee going. Number one, it made it easy to drink that water. And number two, I didn't get like weird buzzy, like gross feeling from drinking the coffee. I felt totally awake by the time I drank the coffee. So that was something I really, really appreciated. Another thing that I've changed is I drink room temperature water now. So I was drinking like cold water before, but I'm finding that it's just so much easier to drink like lukewarm water, not lukewarm, but room temperature water. I do drink cold water if it's like really hot outside, but I found it's like way better on the system and easier to drink. That was probably the one thing I noticed. Like, it's such an underrated habit to start. If you're trying to incorporate a healthier habit, start with drinking water. It sounds really silly, but like I noticed right away, like my bloat went down, like I felt more energized. I could do the things I wanted to do. I wasn't hungry. It's funny, like half the time I'm just eating less calories because I'm just more hydrated and I'm not hungry. So this is one thing, like I feel like no matter what, I'm gonna stick to. So that was easy. The only thing is, it is difficult when traveling. That is a caveat for sure, especially during COVID when bathrooms are closed. Because yeah, you can imagine drinking that much water, you're going to the bathroom a lot. So it's helping a lot working from home still to keep this habit up. It'll be interesting if I'm back in the office and how that goes. But yeah, like traveling where you're trying to find a bathroom, not ideal. So that's probably the one downside. The next one is diet and drinking. So for the 75 hard, you can pick a diet of your choosing. The main thing is there's no cheat meals, and I think they suggest no sugar, maybe not. Just like a healthy diet, but one that you would find a little bit challenging and one that you could stick to. The main caveat is there's no drinking alcohol. And this was probably the part that I really struggled with when I started the challenge. Because if you can remember, I was doing like the spin the wheel cocktail series and stuff leading up to it. And was just like, it was COVID. It was like the one fun thing to do was have a drink at the end of the day. It kind of felt like Christmas holidays. But that was another reason why I was like, I need to do this challenge because, you know, I can't just keep up with the cocktails every few days. So, I would say diet-wise, I'm not really sticking to the diet I chose anymore, which was I tried to eat 1,400 to 1,500 calories a day, no sugar, no gluten, and no like processed foods. I would say like I'm still fairly healthy, but I'm definitely eating way more carbohydrates. I started eating a little bit of dairy too. I kind of go through phases of eating purely plant-based and then eating some dairy. I am eating some dairy now. But yeah, I was finding that was hard to follow. One thing I am finding that I actually started incorporating before the 75 hard challenge, but I kept it going during, was intermittent fasting. Don't like quote me on it because I haven't done a ton of research on it, but I loosely eat between the hours of like 10 to 6 or 11 to 7. So like an 8-hour window, and I eat 2 main meals and then a snack in between. And I've kept with that, and I find it just helps, again, curve those calories. So you're not eating as much, and I'm not nearly as hungry. I'm really working on eating meals that are really satiating, high in proteins and stuff like that. So that's been good. Drinking wise, yes, that was huge actually. That was a huge behavioral shift for me. And I realized I did have a little bit of a crutch when it came to alcohol. There were certain events where because I can be more shy when I meet people at first, like I would gravitate towards having a drink because it was anxiety for me, and especially like going into dating. It's really hard to date and not drink, and I am dating. I am drinking now, but I definitely have cut down. I don't really drink at home very much anymore, like maybe on the weekends here and there, but I'm not having those like COVID cocktails anymore. And things are starting to open up here in Victoria. We're able to go out for dinners and stuff like that. So I'll have a drink or two out. But I'm finding I'm not wanting to really get drunk anymore. Like that's just not appealing to me. My sleep and feeling the next day is so important. And I was just noticing I was not feeling great the next day. Or I'd say or do things that, like, I don't know, when you've had a few drinks, you're a little more loose. And I felt like sometimes I'd regret some of the things I'd said or done. So I really am working on being like more control of my body and my emotions and what I'm doing. If you're like curious about being sober or just wanting to cut down on your alcohol, anything like that, I highly recommend it. And it's something I'm still exploring. The next one is working out. So on the challenge, you had to work out twice a day, 45 minutes each time, and one had to be outside. Now this one is hard. Like I would say up until March, I can't believe it's like mid-June right now, but yeah, up until end of March, my Oxygen Fitness and Yoga Studio was open and I was going every day and that didn't really stop. I think actually right when the challenge ended, they shut down the gym again, but then it opened up in January. It was open for about 2 months. And it's just such a great habit for me. It's something that it wasn't hard for me to go to the gym every day because it was a social thing for me. I was seeing friends and people I was getting to know. And the workouts were really engaging and fun. And it was something I didn't even really have to think about. I just booked it and went. And I knew I was going to have a good time. So that was easy. Now that it's closed, it's opening up again, hopefully in July. But I would say like the couple months it's been closed, it's been really hard. I've been going to like a local gym here that's not like doesn't have group fitness classes and just doing my own thing, and downloaded the Sweat app, and I've been doing like workouts outside and stuff, but I'm just not nearly as motivated as I was before. So that's going to be huge. But I will say the outdoor piece, that hasn't gone away. That is ingrained. The water and going outside are like the two things that I still do every single day. And I don't think it's ever gonna change. And yeah, the days are getting brighter and sunnier, so definitely does make things easy. But the other day it was like pouring rain and I still wanted to go outside. In fact, I was like excited to get outside. So yeah, I love being outside. It's so grounding for me. It's so therapeutic. I've definitely been like struggling with some anxiety and depression over this pandemic, and so that's been like a savior for me for sure. Oh, the other thing I will say is like I'm not so strict at keeping it 45 minutes. Like sometimes if it's a busy day, it's like I'm getting outside, I'm walking around the block, like whatever I need to do. But I would say it's usually between 30 minutes to an hour. So the next one is reading, and I would say this one's fairly consistent too. I've been reading some really good new books, and I won't say I do it every single day, but I'm starting to get back into that habit again. I'm trying to limit my time on my phone at night and in the morning. So I've been reading before bed. It's been lovely. I think like having a good book is so super important. I've been reading The Boundary Boss by Terry Cole, which is my latest one. And I'm also like toying with some nonfiction or some fiction, sorry. Also really enjoying like Streams to the Ocean by Jedediah Jenkins, which is not fiction, but it's just like small essays and stories about life and ego and death and all of these things, and it's just so beautiful, and I've been really enjoying like taking that in. I've also been like spending this winter, spring, like really diving deep into like relational self-help type stuff. So I'm doing a dating course right now by Mark Groves that I'm like so excited about. I also am doing another course by Jules Weber called Flawless and Feminine, which I can't recommend enough. And they're both kind of like self-paced. You can watch videos when you can, and there's lots of like writing and reflection exercises. And both of them have content on Instagram pages as well. Mark Rose also has this app called Mind, and it's him with a bunch of other individuals who are interested in emotional well-being, and I highly, highly recommend it. So yeah, that whole like self-help journey, it just, like, I would say it's just kind of blown up. That is one thing I definitely do a lot of, and I try to like read or listen to something inspiring every day and reflect. So the last one is the progress photo. I haven't been doing this one at all, and I have to say, like, even during the challenge, it was kind of the one thing that I was like, I don't really know. I don't see what the point is of this. But having said that, it is really cool to look back and see my transformation from the start to the end. It was pretty intense. It was pretty huge. And I like that it wasn't weighing yourself on a scale, because I could just see the photos. And even again, if you watched like my last recap video, you'll see I did this like little video at the beginning and end, and I was like, oh my goodness, I've changed so much. Not just even in my body, but in the way I like present myself. I felt way more confident at the end. So yeah, I think in that sense, the progress photo is a really good idea. I definitely would do it again if I'm doing like more of a challenge or something I'm working towards, but I wouldn't just like take photos of myself daily just because. And I bought a scale, and I haven't weighed myself in a while either. But I think what a good thing is for me is like just making sure my clothes fit. Like, I bought some new jeans, and I'm, you know, if they feel a little tight one day, I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna simmer down on the chips and the sweets, and then I feel okay. But yeah, just really like being more intuitive in my body and how it feels, as opposed to like that superficial looking at things. What I will say too though is, before I started the challenge, I struggled to look at myself in a mirror. I found it really hard. I would like pinpoint all the things wrong about my body, and so I would just not look in the mirror because I just wanted to avoid it. But one thing that the daily progress photos did is made me like look at myself and be proud of myself. And then when I saw the progress too, it was like, oh wow, like I'm strong, and like I didn't look so bad before, and like just be a little bit more gentle with myself, I think. So that was the one thing I really do think is good about that. So overall, those were the things. I also did this challenge where I try and spend an hour a day on my business while I was doing the 75 hard. I probably wouldn't recommend adding anything more to the challenge as you're doing it if you do decide to do it. It just made it that much harder. But I did get a lot done, and I felt really good about it. And so I'm definitely like, I think the main thing with this challenge is even just picking a couple habits that you want to do every day and really like integrating them into your life is just a really nice benchmark. And you can adjust, like you don't have to do these 5 things. You could do different things. I've been starting meditating every day. It's day 150 today. And I started playing guitar, doing something creative every day. And so like those are things as well that you could incorporate in. And I know this channel is called Whole Foodie Challenge, but I challenge you to also try and find that balance of what feels good and what's like too structured, or maybe what's not structured enough, and it's different for everyone. I think this particular 75 hard challenge for me was really good because it helped me really kind of go to that extreme, but then try and find that middle ground afterwards, which is something I'm really trying to work towards. So as I start to slip or feel like a couple weeks ago, I was feeling really like out of touch, out of schedule, I was like, okay, let's incorporate some of these things that I did on the 75 hard challenge again, like drinking water and reading and going to the gym on a daily basis, and just making sure I'm getting those things in, and it's been really, really good. So overall, highly recommend the challenge or something like it. You can adapt it to make it your own. I do have a poster that I created that you can get on my site. I'll leave the link below. You can download the poster and check it out and follow yourself, or email me and I can create a custom one for you if you have like specific challenges or tasks in mind that you want to set up. So yeah, there we go. That's my recap. And I will see you soon, I promise. I won't be away this long next time. But I hope you're doing well, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and subscribe. And yeah, check me out on Instagram, and I'll see you back here soon. Okay.